Welcome back to the RV Queens podcast, where we dive into the world of women making money and living life on the road. I have an extra special episode for you this week that I think you're going to really enjoy. Or maybe not. I guess we'll see. I want you to give me your honest feedback in a review or a comment, depending on what platform you're listening on. I'm seriously curious what you think about this episode. It's unique because I used AI to create both the script and the voice recording. That's right. For the script, I entered some prompts about the topic, the main points I wanted to make, and the tone of the episode into ChatGPT, which I then pasted into the AI voice tool in Riverside, which is the podcast recording platform that I use. Now, before we dive in, I want to be clear that even though I used AI, the content that's being delivered here is legit and actually comes from my personal experience. You're going to hear what I did wrong for the first 2 years of running this business and how you can avoid these mistakes too. I'm really excited for you to give it a listen and let me know what you think of the AI voice. Is it hilarious or creepy, or does it sound totally normal to you? Okay, and the last thing I want to mention real quick is the RV Queens Holiday Gift Guide. Support your fellow travelers and get discounts on cool gifts at rvqueenspodcast.com/gift guide. Alrighty, without further ado, let's dive into this AI-created episode. Grab your coffee and let's roll. Hey there, RV Queens. Welcome back to another episode of the RV Queens podcast, where we dive into the joys, challenges, and sometimes downright chaotic moments of building a business while living life on the road. I'm your host, Kate, and today we're talking about something that I know will resonate with so many of you. Here's the deal. We all make mistakes, especially in the early days of our businesses. And let me tell you, I made a lot of them. But mistakes aren't failures, they're lessons. And today, I'm going to walk you through the 3 biggest mistakes I made during the first 2 years of building this business, so you can avoid them and thrive even faster than I did. So, grab your coffee, settle into your cozy corner of the RV, and let's get into it. Mistake number 1, I didn't niche down enough. Okay, let's talk niching down. When I started the RV Queens podcast, I thought I had this whole niche thing figured out. I mean, a podcast and community for RV women, that's already pretty specific, right? Wrong. It took me a full year of creating content, connecting with listeners, and honestly spinning my wheels to figure out who my real audience was. Spoiler alert, it wasn't just RV women. My true audience is women who are making money on the road. Here's why that matters. The more specific your audience, the more clearly you can speak to their needs, their goals, and their pain points. When I finally honed in on my niche, everything started to click. My content resonated more, my community engagement grew, and it became so much easier to create offers that actually helped my audience. So, if you're in the early stages of your business, I want you to think about your niche. Are you being specific enough? And if you're not sure, ask yourself, who are the people I really want to serve, and how can I make their lives better? Mistake number 2, I should have created a weekly, monthly checklist system sooner. This next one is for all my creative, multi-passionate, easily distracted business owners out there. Raise your hand if you've ever sat down to work and spent 20 minutes just figuring out what you should be doing. Yep, same here. Here's the thing. Life on the road is unpredictable. One day you've got a full work schedule and the next you're dealing with a flat tire, unexpected detour, or let's be real, a killer sunset that demands your attention. Flexibility is a must, but without systems, that flexibility can turn into chaos. For far too long, I was winging it. I had a general idea of what needed to get done, but no clear plan. It wasn't until I started creating weekly and monthly checklists that things really started to change. These checklists became my guideposts. They helped me focus on revenue-generating tasks during those small, unpredictable windows of work time. If I had 30 minutes while my kids were doing an online class, I didn't waste it scrolling social media. I used that time to do something that moved the needle, like reaching out to a potential client or prepping for a podcast interview. And if you really want to level up, take it a step further and create daily task lists. My husband is a pro at this, and while I'm not quite there yet, I can see how it's a total game changer. Mistake number 3, I focused on the business brand and ignored my personal brand. All right, mistake number 3 might surprise you. When I started RV Queens, I poured all my energy into building the podcast and the community brand. And while that's important, I made a big mistake. I ignored my personal brand. Here's why that's a problem. People connect with people, not businesses. If you're not paying for ads or big marketing campaigns like I wasn't, your personal brand is your greatest asset. By sharing my behind the scenes journey of building this business, I could have created a deeper connection with my audience. People want to know the real you, the highs, the lows, the messy middle. That's what builds trust. I also learned that relying on my podcast guests' names to grow the show was a mistake. Sure, their audiences might tune in for one episode, but they weren't sticking around because they came for the guest, not me. And here's the kicker. Businesses come and go, but your personal brand is forever. If I ever decide to sell RV Queens or pivot to something new, my personal brand is what will carry me forward. So, my advice to you, don't just build your business, build yourself. Share your story, your struggles, and your wins. It's the most powerful way to connect with your audience and grow your reach organically. All right, friends, there you have it. The 3 biggest mistakes I made during the first 2 years of my business and how you can avoid them. To recap, 1, niche down more than you think you need to. 2, create systems and checklists sooner rather than later. 3, don't ignore your personal brand. It's just as important as your business brand. I hope this episode gave you some insights, a little inspiration, and maybe even a few aha moments. Remember, we're all learning as we go, and it's never too late to course correct. If you love this episode, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love to hear about the lessons you're learning as you grow your business on the road. Until next time, keep chasing those dreams and making magic happen, 1 mile at a time.
And that's a wrap. So, what did you think? It's time for you to drop your thoughts in a review on Apple Podcasts or a comment on Spotify or YouTube or wherever you're listening. I'm so curious to hear what you think about this episode. And as always, thank you so much for being part of the RV Queens community. I'm so grateful for you, and I love how engaged you all are with this podcast and with the RV Queen circles. That's all I have for now, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the road.